What's going on, guys? I'm back. I know I've been away for a while, I know, but I was locked in. All right, I was locked in, I was putting in the work, and I was building something. I was actually building something that I think can help a lot of you guys. Most traders have no idea what their actual hedge is. Let's be honest, they're guessing. I've been trading for the last 9 years, and I've been teaching for the last 5. And I teach psychology mainly. The biggest problem that I see with students is they rely too much on memory. And even when they journal, they don't even look at the journal. They don't know how to extract the right information from their journal. They're relying on guessing, hoping, and thinking the best. A positive mindset is great, but you can't positively think your way into profits. You have to be doing the right stuff, and you have to have the right facts to back you up. Because confidence in your trading is not going to come from hope. It's going to come from your data, your journal, real evidence, proof that you are actually profitable. That's where your confidence is going to come from. It's going to come from this one trade that you've entered and you're hoping for the best. It's going to come from a series of trades, i.e. the last 20 trades that you journaled. How can you be confident if you don't even know if you're profitable? One losing streak and you're going to blow your whole account and lose it all and start jumping from strategy to strategy, mentor to mentor. And one thing I'm always saying to people is you need to go back to your data. You need to go back to your journal. Your journal shows you where you're wrong, where you're right, what mistakes you keep making. It even shows you patterns of where you can actually start focusing. In that, you'll be able to see real proof that you're profitable, and you'll be able to have confidence in your next trades. You're gonna have to put in the trades, real trades. There's no point trying to make it look good, because at the end of the day, this journal is for you, it's for nobody else. Okay? So make sure you're being honest with yourself. All the trades that I put into the journal are live. There's no guesswork here. There's no hope. All of it is factual data that I use on a daily basis when I trade, even today. I'm not going to reveal the whole thing to you, okay, because some of it is very personal information, but I will reveal as much as I can. And you can go ahead and put your own journal into it, because at the end of the video, I'm going to be giving away the prompt that I used to make this for free. All right, so stay tuned and you're going to get a lot of value. Enough talking now, let's get straight into it. So here you can see the journal itself. All right, so first of all, we can see the equity curve. Pretty positive there, pretty good. As you can see, it's slow and steady, nice and steady. Okay, 79 trades in the dashboard so far, and I created this with Claude. You can see there's losses in there as well. Okay, I'm very honest with my journaling. Here we have the net R, so how much I'm positive R over these 79 trades. My win rate over here, 63%. This journal here is based on a risk to reward of 2.5. Okay, so 1 to 2.5. My average loss is always 1 R. What does that tell you? I only ever lose 1 R. Okay, 1%. I risk 1%, and that's all I ever lose, meaning strict discipline. Okay, 1 R per trade. Some of you guys are losing accounts and losing trades because you over risk, and you need to fix that. My max win streak so far over these 79 trades is 6 wins in a row and 3 losses in a row, which I would say is pretty good, because I have a personal limit per session of 2 trades. So if I lose 2 in a row, I stop for that session. Now here is some more data for me. Okay, this might not necessarily help you, but the data will give you whatever comes from your own strategy. Okay, so what is this telling me? Just to explain to you, I only trade twice, right, in a session. And when I take that second shot, let's say the first one loses and I take the second one, the second shot wins 83% of the time. What does that tell me? What does that give me? Confidence to always take the second shot. If I know I win 83% of the time on the second shot, why would I hesitate? See, some of you guys, you don't know these things. You don't know the numbers of your second shot or your third shot. Those numbers are important for you. All right. Then I have 2 models that I trade. Well, 4 models. Okay. But it's showing me that when I trade New York session, the reversal model that I trade outperforms the continuation model 68% to 59%. So what does that mean for me? That means when I'm seeing a reversal in New York, okay, I have a 68% more chance of it hitting. Am I not going to enter that with confidence? Of course, it doesn't mean I don't enter the continuation model with confidence as well. But knowing that my model is backed by real data, 15 wins and 7 L's, that's what gave it a 68% win rate. I'm going to have that confidence to enter. Do you know which models out of the models you trade you have more of a hit rate on? Do you know that? No. So how are you going to have confidence in your trading? This is what I mean by most traders just guess. They're like, oh, I think this one is more profitable. They don't know for sure. Even if they knew in their head, they don't know for sure because they don't have the numbers. Okay, I've got the numbers right here. Then I've added some more information. If you guys understand what I'm talking about here, I have 2 zones that I enter from, an extreme zone and a decisional zone. The decisional zone wins 71% of the time, whereas the extreme zone wins 62% of the time. And the decisional zone on the second shot, so when I take the second trade of the day, if I lose the one, wins 100% of the time. Does that not give me confidence to take that second shot? Do you know which zone that you trade from that you have more of a hit rate with? No, most of you don't. Most traders don't. So if you're looking for confidence for trading, don't think it's going to come before you trade. Confidence comes from data, real data. There's no point of this information if it was fake. There's no point of this information if I cheated some wins in there or I didn't add some losses in there. I'm just going to be selling myself a dream. That's why it all has to be legit. It all has to be valid, which it is for me. Then here we have something that I added. 56% of wins is correct to take TP. See, some of you guys are greedy and some of you guys have that fear that you left too much on the table. You don't know which trades were the right ones to take at certain TPs. For me, it says here 56% of the time when I take my TP is the correct TP. And 32 of my 50 wins actually extended. And this is something that I'm actually looking at. When can I actually extend my TP? Something else I've also put in this journal is how many times I've got hunted. What does that mean? When price stops you out by a few pips and then goes in your direction all the way to TP, for me, I would consider that a hunt. It means I see that as I got stopped out, I was liquidity, and then price moved in my favor. So 5 from the extreme and 5 from the decisional and 1 anti, which I'm going to add later. So for me, what can I do? I can just extend my stop loss by a few more pips, making sure, of course, it's all within risk. And now I can save myself from a few stop loss hunts. Out of 79 trades to get hunted 11 times, that's pretty good. And you can see here, another thing I added is most of the stop loss hunts came from NFP week. How would I know that if I didn't record it? This is where you have to be detailed in your journal as well. I'm not going to show this daily brief tab, but what I can do is explain what it is, okay? Now, the daily brief tab is where every single individual trade is, all right? And actually, let me show you. So for me, when I'm trading, right, I usually have it next to me, next to my charts, as you can see here. So I have the day I'm trading and the session I'm trading. The data just shows me again the stats of what's likely to happen. So how can something like this help you? During your session, you have something like this open and it can show you your numbers for the session and what you should expect. Okay, now I also have a toggle here that if I turn this on, it changes the stats, okay, for NFP week. All right, so it shows me what I'm expecting if it's NFP week, and the whole daily brief changes. All right, so this is my NFP week, and you can see here I have 20 trades logged there, and it changes the whole daily brief based on NFP week as well. Let's move on to the next tab, which is the mantra. Now, the mantra is something that I made, and I think is very, very important to have affirmations when you're trading. Okay, I'm not talking about those cringy affirmations you see in the mirror. As much as those work to some extent, I'm talking about wiring your brain and wiring your mindset. The other day, I had a video which I showed to my students, which was a video of Cristiano Ronaldo, and he was doing affirmations before taking a penalty. So I thought to myself, if somebody with that much success, who's taken so many free kicks and has so much achievements behind him, is still doing affirmations, then who am I to not do them? So I can see here, pre-session, all right? I don't always go through this. I'm just showing you. And as a beginner, this is very, very important. In my early days, something like this would have helped me a lot. You can see what it says here. I trade a proven model, not a feeling, 79 trades. The system works and I execute the rules that built this record. It's just affirmations that you read so that you get yourself into the right mindset. So here's that video of Cristiano Ronaldo, right? And what's he saying, right? For you, it's normal to score, as you've always done. If Cristiano Ronaldo is still doing that before he takes a free kick, who are you to think it's cringe to be saying stuff to yourself when you're trading? These times it's just you by yourself. There's nothing to be embarrassed about. Do you want to be profitable or not? Again, I'm not saying be weird and cringe and say the weirdest stuff, but the main thing that you could be saying is follow my plan. I have the data to show I'm profitable. If I take a loss, it's okay. You win some, you lose some, you miss some. Simple as that. You start your trading. How do you think it's going to go? Probably better than if you're like, I hope I win today. I hope I don't lose, which is probably what most people say to themselves. And then they end up losing anyway. So that is very, very key. Having the right mantra is key, and the right mindset before you trade. The most profitable traders have the right mindset. I'm not saying all of them say this to themselves, but they have it installed in their brain. They trust their data, they trust their process, and they trust their setups. So let's continue. Now here's something that I created to kind of gamify my trading. This is a progress bar. Something I learned from Mark Douglas is he said that you should look at the last 20 trades you took, and from that you'll be able to see your profit factor, so whether you're profitable or not. And that's the data that you should actually use. So I initially actually started this journal off with just 20 trades, but over time I've been adding to it, and I thought, you know what, let me challenge myself. Actually, I want to do 20 trades per session. So as you can see here, I've got 12 out of 20 trades filled in for Monday, 8 out of 20 for Tuesday, and so forth. And my goal is to fill this in so I have 200 trades in this dashboard. What do you think that's going to do for my confidence? What do you think that's going to do for my trading? Now, this is something I also added in recently, which is the timeline. So I can see which months I was actually profitable, okay? And you can see this month, June, I'm up 21.43R, okay? And it just kind of breaks down the weeks. And this just goes to show, right? And again, this is a topic for another video, but win rate, risk to reward, who cares as long as you are profitable? So that is the timeline tab. Then we have the sessions tab, which I'm not going to open because that has my strategy in there. And basically what it has in there is my models. So what I trade for Asia strategy and what I trade for New York. My framework, okay, what I'm looking for. So a checklist, look for A, B, C, D, E, F, G, right? And then it has the numbers in there as well. So I'm not going to show you guys that, but I just thought I'd explain it. Then we have the entry edge. And what this breaks down is what I spoke about earlier, my first shot versus my second shot. So you can see I prefer to be one and done. I'm not that guy that's going to just stay in the market or stay the whole session and be trading and trading and trading and trying to extract as much as I can from the market. I'm not that greedy. If I can get one trade in, then I'm happy. And as you can see here, out of 60 trades, I have a 57% win rate with that, okay? Then we have the second shot, an 83% win rate on the second shot out of 18 trades. That gives me confidence. I get confidence from this data that I can see here, that you guys can see here. That's what allows me to believe in my trading, and that's what will allow you to believe in your trading, because you have the numbers and the evidence to back it. And then we have etc., all of this other data as well. Then I asked Claude for 2 more tabs, and there are some more here which it then created itself. See, this is the great thing about Claude. It kind of takes initiative and creates other stuff that you might need, which is amazing. So in the improvement tab, it's telling me some execution rules that are non-negotiable for myself, all right? And some of them I put in, some of them it reinforced. So 1, I never do market execution. I always do limit orders. Why? Because I have a predefined entry point, stop loss point, and take profit point. I don't need to be faffing about and, oh, let me enter here and doing extra stuff. The less you need to think, in your trading, especially when you're waiting for the execution point, the better. You don't get any smarter once you're in the trade. All the analysis should be done before you enter the trade. There's nothing more to do unless you're managing. If you're going to manage when price goes to a certain point, you want to move your stop loss up to break even, or you're going to take a partial, that's totally up to you. You can do that. Then another one is not moving stop loss to break even. Now, my data shows me, okay, don't look at this video and start saying, oh, Saleh, does that mean I shouldn't move stop loss to break even? My data shows me I don't need to do that. You need to look at what your data shows you. That's why you need to be honest about what you're doing in your trading. If you're doing too much, add it to your journal. Claude will show you you're doing too much. I don't move stop loss to break even because price, I know it can come back to entry, and I've had times when it comes and almost hits stop loss, but then reverses and goes straight to TP. And that's what this data shows me. And there's evidence of that because sometimes it even references the trades. As you can see here, trade 62 came within pips of stop loss before winning. So what is that also going to give me? It's going to stop me from interfering. And that's what most of you guys do. You just interfere. Think about your trading. Be honest. Most of your L's are coming from interference. Trades that shouldn't have been L's. How many of them do you have? Because you interfere with your trades. Because you don't believe in your actual strategy. You don't believe in yourself. You can't trust yourself. All of this data allows me to trust myself. I don't need to do extra stuff. I don't need to overmanage. Again, this is something Claude added. If stopped out, don't prevent enter. Obviously, I already know that. Some extra stats for me based on my trading. Then again, if you're being honest with your journal, you're gonna see real data from this stuff. So here you can see, right? From the 79 trades that I've had, 5 were human errors. You're gonna make mistakes and you have to factor those in. You're a human being. You're not a robot and you're not gonna be perfect in your trading. But it's okay. Factor those mistakes in. Even with 5 mistakes that I made. Out of 79 trades, my win rate actual is still 63%. Without those errors, it would have been 67%. But am I still happy? Of course. Look, I only left 4% on the table. Is that deep? No, not really. In the grand scheme of things. Some of you guys, from your errors, you're always thinking about, oh, I could have had this much and that much, and this shouldn't have been a loss. I would have been funded this amount. When you put it into data, you can see it's not actually that deep. Okay, and you're able to actually understand your trading and understand yourself way more. Then there's some more stats here in terms of NFP stats, okay, and certain timings and when my hit rate is more during my sessions. So you can see here 2 to 3 p.m, 3 to 4 p.m, 4 to 5 p.m, 100% win rate, but that's only because it's 5 trades. Okay, 5 trades out of 79 is not enough data, which is why I'm building it to 200 trades. Take this part with a pinch of salt. Then we have the patterns. Now the patterns here is the gold, because this was the main thing that I wanted. When I first asked Claude to create this journal for me, I asked it to find any patterns that you see. And this is where the second shot pattern actually came out. It showed me that 83% of the time, here it says 88%, I need to ask Claude to rectify that because it's going for a lot of data. It's going to make some mistakes sometimes. But this is the great thing about Claude. Whenever it makes a mistake, you ask it to verify. And that's something that I'm always doing. Once I put trades in, I do them 5 at a time. It works with that data. It puts it in, then you ask it to verify everything. And sometimes it's going to make mistakes, okay? But from here, from the patterns, I'm not going to show you all of this because again, this is personal stuff for me, but I can see my patterns in my trading. And of course, that's something that I can work on and use to my advantage and become more confident in my trading. Now, this is the part where Claude creates something that I didn't even ask it to create. And this is the sick thing about Claude. It created a heat map for me. And this is like a nice visual for myself based on all my trades on what days and what sessions I'm more profitable. So as you can see here, look, Monday, New York, Tuesday, New York and Asia, Wednesday, Asia, and then Friday, New York are my highest win rate days. So how can I use this information? Let's say I'm going to go for a challenge. It's probably better for me to trade on these days where my win rate or my R is significantly higher. More chance of passing a challenge. Do you know what day, what session you're most profitable? That's the issue. You don't. Most of you guys don't. That's why something like this is something that you need. And then we have the trade log here, which basically logs every single trade that I've taken, on what days, categorized by what session, what zone, whether it was a human error or not, if it was CPI week, if it was NFP week, etc. All of that information that I can use at my disposal. And if I click on this, it will expand, but I'm not going to do that. Again, this personal information. And then over here, it created something called a sim lab. So always keep a demo on the side, okay? On news days, if I don't want to trade, I just want to collect some more data, okay? I always encourage having a demo on the side to keep the sword sharp. Let's say you have just lost a challenge, okay? Some people believe there's no point in trading anymore because you're not trading a real account. There's no point, I'm not going to make money. But see, that person there is focused on the outcome and not the process. If you're focused on the process, you want to stay in the game. Unless you're mentally exhausted and you're taking a break, that's different. But I always recommend staying in the game with a demo. And you should treat demo the same way you treat live. The market doesn't change or know if you're on a live or demo. It's you that's changing. Okay, so what I always recommend is trade a demo the same way you trade live, and trade a live the same way you trade a demo. If you've just failed a challenge, that's fine. Pick yourself back up, keep trading demo, keep working on the process. Here, it created a simulated lab. And as you can see here, it's shadow performance. So all the demo trades I've taken, I've put in here as well. And it's actually given me a graduation tracker. What's that? The more simulated trades I take, the better I get with those simulated trades is collecting data on that as well. And when those trades graduate, this is going to tell me you can start taking this trade live because we have 20 trades in the chamber. Again, all of this is coming from what? Proof, not guesswork. So that's pretty much the journal. Now, all I did was get all my trades that were in my journal already, okay? I copied all of them and pasted it into Claude and asked it to analyze and build a dashboard for me. I don't have no coding experience, and you don't need no fancy Excel spreadsheet skills either. Claude is going to do everything for you. I create a PDF that you guys can have for free. A link to download the PDF is going to be in the description. Now, this PDF is going to show you how to build everything from scratch, okay? It's split into different levels as well, from a simple dashboard to a very advanced dashboard like mine. You can start with as little as 5 trades on level 1. And you should start with at least something so that you can start building your own dashboard and your own data. So that's how I used AI to improve my trading. You can do the same. I look forward to seeing how you guys use the prompt. Tag me once you build your prompt. I want to see what it looks like, what you guys are building as well. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, follow me on socials. If you got value from this video, share it with a friend, and I'll see you guys in the next video.